I'm like, Google probably thinks I am a messy bitch, but I'm not. I'm a writer, which means I probably am, in fact, a messy bitch. I hate like the whole clumsy heroine trope. Like, she trips, she falls, she doesn't know what she's doing, she's just helpless. Are we sure they're not secretly in love? I'm always trying to like put the people together and make them hook up, and they're like, Kris, this is a political thriller. They're not going to stop and have sex in Act 3. Hi, I'm Kris Jayne, and I read and write steamy contemporary romance. I also read other things, and I'm about to start writing some other things. I have a great cozy mystery series idea that I've been sitting on for like several years. But primarily, I write steamy contemporary romances. I haven't published on my YouTube channel in forever because I struggle sometimes doing the social media and the marketing and stuff for my books. I'm not going to lie. I like writing them, and I like being on YouTube, and I like being on social media, but like creating content has sometimes been a struggle for me. But I want to connect more with the bookish community on YouTube, especially with other Black authors and Black readers. So I thought, YouTube is a good place for me to kind of kickstart connecting more with that community. So I mentioned that I write steamy contemporary romance, and that's because that's what I primarily started reading, probably from an age where I was too young to be reading those books. But like a good Gen X lady, I watched and consumed all kinds of content that I probably should not have been watching at too young an age. But when I was little, my mom used to read those Harlequin Presents books. And these were like the ones from the 70s and early 80s, but a lot of the ones she had were from the 70s. And it's just young, white, British virgins going to Italy and Greece with swarthy people and getting themselves into trouble. A lot of the heroes were way too old to be dating some 18, 19-year-old British virgin. They're problematic like crazy, but I used to love those books. And my mom used to go get them sometimes free from the library. Like the library would be rotating through their various Harlequin Presents books, and my mom would go and get them. And I remember one summer she went to the library and she got a bunch of these books that they were discarding. They were in a literal trash bag. And so I read my way through those trashy romance novels in the trash bag, like the whole summer. And I was too young. I was probably like 10 or 11, way too young to be diving into those books. But I loved them. And I also watched a lot of soap operas because the 80s was like peak soap opera. I used to watch Days of Our Lives, Another World, Santa Barbara. My mom used to watch Young and the Restless and Guiding Light. In the summer, my brother and I used to watch All My Children. And then later in college, I got into General Hospital. I think I watched every soap opera that was on in the 80s, except I never watched One Life to Live. And I never watched, what was the other one that was on CBS? As the World Turns. I never watched As the World Turns. All right, sorry, I had to pause for a second. My nose started running. These allergies in Texas are killing me. So I love soap operas. And I bring that up because both like reading those Harlequin romances and watching soap operas totally influences how I write and what I write. I like angst. I like tension. I like drama. I like some jet set, posh people running around being messy. I love a reading of the will. I love a paternity test. At one point when I was writing, I remember I'm like, Google is just going to think I'm a straight up whore because every 6 months I'm writing a book and researching, paternity testing and when can you paternity test and how the whole process goes. And I'm researching weddings and all sorts of stuff. I'm like, the cluster of this, I'm like, Google probably thinks I am a messy bitch, but I'm not. I'm a writer, which means I probably am, in fact, a messy bitch. So I love romance and I love angsty romance. And some of the tropes that I love are enemies to rivals, enemies and rivals to lovers. I love the friction of those. When I'm writing, because I write steamy contemporary romance, a lot of times I don't read that genre. I'll read like historical, because even though I love historical, I'm like way too anal to write historical. I would have to do so much research and I'd be so like, oh my God, did I get these facts right? Like historical would probably drive me crazy. But I love a marriage of convenience and I guess more modern, like fake dating. I love those tropes. I can't resist a book where they're resisting falling in love, but then they do because they just can't help it. I even wrote a modern marriage convenience in my second series, my Lone Star Cross saga. Book 3, Morning Star, is a modern marriage of convenience. And that's actually one of my favorite books. I really like that hero. Anthony is a mess. So that's what I write. One of the other books that I love is, or tropes that I love, is forced proximity. Because I love, like, they're trapped in a cabin, they're snowed in. The freebie, actually, on my website, if you go to krisjayne.com, I have a free story. You sign up for my newsletter. There's a free book there, and that one is a snowed in book because I love that. And then also book 4 in my second series is a forced proximity book. There's like only one tent, and the hero and the heroine are on the side of a mountain in California, and they are getting it on in the tent. Anyway, so I love the forced proximity. And I mentioned I love like soapy elements and things like that, like a secret heir. My entire second series is all about like a secret heir. I don't so much love Secret Baby, but I love like a lost heir, you know, inheritance kind of book. Some of the tropes I hate, and they kind of go together to me in my mind. I hate like the whole clumsy heroine trope, like she trips, she falls, she doesn't know what she's doing, she's just helpless, and oh no, I hate that. And I also hate grumpy sunshine, especially in hetero romance where the guy is grumpy and the girl is perky and she smiles and she's bringing cookies. I don't know why it drives, I do know why it drives me crazy. I don't know, I'm pretending I don't know. It drives me crazy because it's just like a whole cross section of romance telling women to smile. That's how it feels to me. You know, smile and don't be too confident and you can have a boyfriend, and it makes me crazy. Another trope that I don't necessarily hate, but that I struggle with is billionaire. Because on one hand, I love a billionaire hero or heroine. I have a billionaire heroine book too. Actually is book 2 in my second series. Has the woman is the one who's the billionaire. And I love those books, but I also know in real life it's getting harder and harder to love a billionaire. But I feel like as an author, I can make the billionaires do what I want, right? Like I have all the drama, like a dynasty with posh and bougie people doing, you know, messy things. I can have all of that, but then make the billionaires like the way I feel like they should be, which is emotionally intelligent and not fucking us all over. And just in general, like caring about their community and using their money and their privilege for good. Which is kind of what I wanted to bake into the Small Town series that I just launched this year. There's 3 books in that series: Rebel, Legend, and Mogul. And those all have Black heroines, 2 Black romances, and then book 2 is an interracial romance. So that is who I am, and that's what I write and what I like to read. So I'm in like a bunch of writing groups. And not everybody in the writing group writes romance, but whenever we're doing brainstorming and things like that, I'm like, are they secretly in love? Are they going to bang? I feel like they should bang. I feel like Act 3 needs an open door sex scene. Are we sure they're not secretly in love? I'm always trying to like put the people together and make them hook up. And they're like, Kris, this is a political thriller. They're not going to stop and have sex in Act 3. I'm like, oh, but they could. I feel some vibes, and there's just no vibes. It's not a romance, and I need to stop. So that's what I like to read and what I like to write. And I'd love to hear, you know, what else you like to read and write. Like, you know, do you read romance? What are your favorite tropes? What do you hate? You know, outside of romance, what are your favorite genres? Which ones are like super complicated that you're like, I don't know if I really like that or if I don't. So comment below what you like to read, and maybe some suggestions on some of your favorite books. If there's something that I said and you're like, oh my God, that makes me think about this book that you would probably love, go ahead and drop your suggestions below and any other comments, and then I will catch you in my next video.